رمضان يا رمضان يا نفحة الرحمن رمضان يا رمضان شهر جود وغفران رمضان يا رمضان يا نفحة الرحمن رمضان يا رمضان شهر جود وغفران كل عام يأتي زائر ليته دوما.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Habiba Adedoyin Kukoyi. I want to welcome you to Pathway to Jannah as being packaged by Ames Media Company Limited. I hope you are enjoying our program. Welcome. Now today, our focus, I want to talk to the women most especially. How well are you managing what you have? Are you the kind of person that believes, well, since today we all know what is going on out there. We all know how difficult it is out there. Why don't you think of engaging in multiple sources of income? Engage yourselves in more work, more jobs. Apart from what maybe you're a professional. Do you have a side hustle? Yes, that's the word. Do you have a side hustle? I mean, we all need this in order to help us put things together, in order to help our husbands. It is very important. Now, it's not just money coming from one source. It should be multiple. We should be like, their backbones. We should be like Igilenyo Gbafun. We should be there to support them. It's not easy. We will all agree. Cost of living, cost of feeding, cost of transportation. Even if you own a car of your own, cost of fueling your car. We all know. So we women, we can do better by engaging. Yes, some would say, I'm a full-time housewife. Of course, it's a full-time job. We appreciate you. Yes, but at the same time, that does not stop you from having something on the side to help support the family. Think about it. And of course, we want to say a very big thank you to all of you, our sponsors, even though some chose to remain anonymous. Thank you very much. Our donors, our sponsors, we appreciate you because when you need to buy any lórí tá bá dúpẹ́ bí ìgbà tó lọ ṣàkóni lẹ́rù lọ. And àwa máa dúpẹ́ because we want more products. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's quickly go into all of our segments and I will be right back.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Orogbo Sulaiman Muhammad from University of Lagos Muslim Community Arabic School. I am here to recite the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Insan, which describes the creation of man, feeding of the poor, and taking care of the orphans. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا عينا يشرب بها عباد الله يفجرونها تفجيرا يوفون بالنذر ويخافون يوما كان شره مستطيرا ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وحصيرا إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا إنا نخاف من ربنا يوما عبوسا قمطريرا صدق الله العظيم.
Ames Media Company Limited offers media services for developmental journalism, public relations, marketing, event coordination pan-Nigeria, and training. Top-notch media content comprising documentaries, talk shows, magazine and children's shows, each and all promoting family values for sustainable development. Our partners, collaborators and patrons span individuals, groups, corporate bodies, government, NGOs, UN bodies, and more. Be reassured that our studio facility will meet your yearnings of digital solutions to your broadcast content. We are peopled by board members with unblemished track records and major players in the corporate world.
Hello, it's Child Crest.
Our panache, passion, and professionalism make her the lead driver of our goal-focused team. Entrust your brands to Ames Media Company Limited to add value to your corporate existence while meeting your target audience. www.amesmedia.com.ng, info@amesmedia.com.ng. Like us on our Facebook page, Ames Media Company Limited. Ames Media, turning your dreams into reality.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak. This is another segment of stories of the prophets. And I still have in the studio with me our students from Great Khilafah College. And I'm sure you know it's a continuation of our story on Prophet Ibrahim, Khalilullah, and the father of faith. We're at the point when these people went to for the festival, and in their absence, Prophet Ibrahim cut all their idols into pieces, but he spared one, the biggest of them, and he hung the ass on his shoulder, and he went back to sleep. And soon his people came back from the festival. Unexpectedly, they met all the idols destroyed, cut into pieces. And they started lamenting, oh, who has done this to our gods? Who has done these terrible things? And in their pains, somebody said, oh, Ibrahim did not join us for the festival. And I think I heard him saying he was going to do something funny. So they quickly fetched Ibrahim and asked him, who did this to our God? And Ibrahim said, wow, what could have happened? Perhaps, ask this, the biggest of them all. Perhaps there was a fight, and instead of defending the smaller ones, he got annoyed, and that's why he now destroyed. Ask him, he should be able to talk. And all of them were looking at Ibrahim strangely. How do you ask us to ask something that cannot talk? And Ibrahim said, oh, so you know that your gods cannot talk, and they cannot even defend themselves, and you are worshiping them. Oh, what an unkind way of worshiping. And they felt, oh, it was clear to them that it was Ibrahim who actually broke all those idols into pieces. Instead of them to look at the bigger picture of Ibrahim telling them that these are just mere images, carved images with your own hands, and it is not sensible for anybody to prostrate before things created by himself and call that thing gods. They got annoyed. They got so much annoyed to the extent that they had a meeting immediately and said, what do we do to somebody who has done this to our God? And all of them came to a decision. We must burn him. Burn him. Burn him. And that was the shout in the palace and in the city. Burn him. Burn him, because he had destroyed their gods. So the preparation for burning Ibrahim started. I'm sure you are wondering, was he really burnt? Yes. The preparation started for the burning of Ibrahim. They had to collect all the sticks, all the materials for burning in the city. That was not all. They had to dig a very big hole and put all the items there and started preparing for the fire with which to burn Ibrahim. And was Ibrahim fearful of this? Did he have any fear in his mind? He didn't. You know the reason why he didn't have fear? But because he believed that the God, the creator of heavens and the earth, whom he believed in, will save him. So they kept on. And at a point, after they have kindled the fire, and the fire was blazing, and it was even difficult for those who kindled the fire to even move close to the fire, because it was so massive. And in fact, they had to throw Ibrahim into the fire from a very far distance, so that they would not also be caught up with the fire. And they threw him into the fire. And something happened. Allahu Akbar. Something happened. Allah commanded Angel Jibril from high heavens, go into that fire and ensure that before Ibrahim lands into the fire, you are there already. The Quran says, Kul ya naru kuni baridan wa salamu ala Ibrahim. We commanded fire, that fire, even though you've been given the power to burn, be so cool and peaceful and as a mercy to Ibrahim. So they throw him into the fire, and instead of burning, Ibrahim was smiling in the fire.
At Taj Bank, we are a non-interest bank like no other. That's because we do not just share in your success story, but we also share your risk like it's ours. And that's why we say at Taj Bank, our only interest is you.
The Tenant Schools, crèche, nursery, primary, junior secondary, and senior secondary school. The Tenant Schools was established to provide foundational educational services delivered to produce generation of future leaders who are God-fearing, intellectually sound, and morally upright. The Tenant Schools is located at 5 and 6 Tudepopola Street, Ishokon Estate, Oriokuta Junction, Agric, Ikorodu, Lagos. The Tenant Schools, excellence in principles and practice.
He was smiling in the fire. And he was saved. But there was a prayer, he said. That prayer is a prayer that every Muslim should say when we are in danger. That prayer is recorded in the Quran. And that prayer is Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Can we say it again? Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. What does it mean? Hasbunallah means I rely solely on Allah. Wa ni'mal wakil is the best. The best of somebody that one can rely on. That was what Ibrahim was chanting, that Allah came to his rescue and asked Angel Jibril to provide a safe haven for him even in the fire. And the fire burned for days, and Ibrahim was there, not touched at all. And the power to burn was taken away from fire. And his people became so disappointed, they became so frustrated. And at the point, the fire quenched, came down, and Ibrahim walked away from his people to another new land. And that was how God disgraced the idol worshippers, saved Ibrahim, and provided for him another life outside the environment of the evildoers and the idol worshippers. And that is the nature of Allah. Allah will always disgrace the unbelievers, will always save the Muslims, and will always provide another life for them after saving them from dangers. Do we have lessons that you have learned from this story? Yes. Tell me, you have learned 1 or 2 lessons from my girls. Tell me, what are the lessons you have learned? Are there lessons to be learned? You know one. Tell us.
It is good to rely on Allah.
Wonderful. It is good to rely on Allah. And if you rely on Allah, Allah will always be there to assist you and help you. Any other lesson? Tell us.
Always worship Allah.
Always worship. Do not join others in worshiping idols. It's important, particularly children. Children and young people should not join the adults in the worship of idols. Any other lesson? Yes, tell us.
In any situation we should always remember Allah.
In any situation, particularly when we are in trouble, we must always remember Allah. Allah is the only friend that we can call upon when we are in danger, in trouble. Whenever we are in danger, in trouble, we must call on Allah. And if you call on Him, He will answer us, just as He answered Ibrahim. On that note, we are coming to the end of this program today. The story of Ibrahim has not ended. We still have to look at his family and what happened, how he managed his family, and how he lived a life of righteousness, of simplicity, and of sacrifice to Allah. All this we'll look at in our next episode of this program. On that note, let me thank my students who have joined us on this program. Jazakumullah khairan. And we'll be with you again the next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Ramadan is a month of total abstinence, worship, service, communal gathering, and spiritual rejuvenation. It has been the tradition for Tob Travels and Tours Limited in organizing annual Ramadan lectures for Muslims. This year makes it the 9th in the series. March 17th, 2024 saw the gathering of Muslims at Surah Shopping Complex Mosque, Lagos Island. The theme for this year's lecture was Beauty in Faith. The program kick-started with the opening remarks from the chairman of the occasion, Alhaji Wale Shonaike, which was swiftly followed with the first lecture of the day, titled Events of the Night of Ascension and Implication for Mankind, delivered by Dr. Tajuddin Adebayo, Executive Secretary, Forum for Islamic Education and Welfare.
The first significance of this event is the fact that it's a test of faith. Our Iman, our faith is based on the belief in the unseen, and Iman bil Ghaib. Whoever cannot believe in the unseen cannot be a Muslim. Allah Himself is unseen, but we believe He exists. The Qadar, the angels, we have not seen them, but we believe they exist. And that's why Allah says, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ.
My fathers and mothers in the house. I don't want to begin to mention names because if I have to continue this thing, then we are not leaving this place today. I want to welcome you all to this program. Welcome Travels and Tours is a registered travel agency. It's an IATA agency. The theme of the discussion this year is beauty in faith. And we have our brothers in the house. In fact, we are listening to one of
of the two brothers that are supposed to address us in person of the Dr. Adebayo.
Alhaji Zikrullah Kule Hassan, immediate past chairman, CEO, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, who was the second guest speaker for the day, delivered the topic Goodness in Adversity. In his lecture, he eschewed the prophets of Allah, human trial and tribulation, and adversity to Muslims.
Adversity is defined in English as problem or misfortune. And so our understanding of what is adversity will be what saddens us, what makes us cry, what gives us fear, what worries us. But Allah in the Holy Quran says, what me and you know, وَبَلَّوْنَاهُمْ بِالْحَسَنَاتِ وَالسَّيِّئَاتِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. I test you both with prosperity and adversity. And one quick example, which I would like to remind us of how Allah tests us with prosperity, is our wives and our husband. We have been told severally that half of faith is marriage. We have been told about the ilmin wa tuqa, imratun salih. After knowledge, after fear of Allah, the next is a good spouse or a good wife. Allah told us in the Holy Quran that al-mal wal-banin.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن من أزواجكم وأولادكم عدوا لكم فاذروهم فإن تعفوا وتصفحوا وتغفروا فإن الله غفور رحيم.
إنما أموالكم وأولادكم فتنة.
إنما أموالكم وأولادكم فتنة والله عنده أجر عظيم.
This right about being allowed to remind us that among your spouses and your children, you have sometimes enemy.
Alhamdulillah, 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 Rabbil Alameen. It's my sincere hope, that you have learned one or two things from all of this that we've brought to you today. We promise to be here again tomorrow, inshallah, bi'karatillah. And I hope and pray that we will also meet you again tomorrow. I am drawing the curtain on today's program by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Stay blessed.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد